down to initiate the program and get us started to make it successful. So that helped with the board. So in October, we'll be at the board meeting presenting our program. Okay. Thank you for doing that. And like I said, I wish all of you the best of luck. It's going to be very, very difficult. The 25 that are selected, we're not going to want you to quit, one, and we're going to have you pass NCLEX. Now, I remember when we used, those of you that were here used ATI, right? Remember we monitored, and I'm a firm believer on that. You've got to continue monitoring your success through the program. And he did say that the NCLEX for the ADN program was a lot more difficult than the one for the LVN. So he said, be careful, because a lot of schools are failing with the first cohort. I think that happened to TSTC in Harlingen. So you better believe that I'm going to be very stringent, and I'm going to be very involved along with Karen as to the selection of the first 25, because we've got to rock it. We've got to go out there and say, you know what, these are 25 students that are going to do awesome. I am thrilled to go before the board 10 years later, because I went before them 10 years ago for the VM program. They gave me a hard time because there was a neighboring school defending their program because of their bad scores. And I promised them that I would come back and develop and show them that in the Valley, we have students that are capable, if they would just give us the opportunity. So 10 years later, I get to raise my right hand, and not only, so I know we're gonna get the program, guys, because that helps. I'm taking the highest scores in the state for the VN, along with an awesome DON and an awesome team, so we're gonna get the program. Now I need the 25 students that are gonna be dedicated and who want it. So with that, I think we have on the next slide some of our accreditations. I'm not gonna go through them. We get a lot of questions. I just came from STC. You're not accredited. We're fully accredited. We're even getting accredited by the Higher Education Coordinating Board. We're going after SACS after this. We've already met with UTRGV, where credits will be transferred if you want to go towards your bachelor's or master's program. So all that is in the pipeline. There's just steps that we need to take. So once we're approved for the program, you go after the other things that you need to do. So Higher Education Coordinating Board, we're already there. SACS will be next, so that way your credits could be transferred to a university if you want to continue towards your bachelor's, master's, whatever degree you want to go on. Okay? So I'm not going to go through that. I think I answered what I need to do, so I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Karen, Ms. Williams, and they'll give you a little bit more of the details, okay? And welcome, welcome. Thank you.
I think a lot of you know this lady up here this morning. Wonderful lady. She's taught me a lot, and she lured me to the Valley, so it's her fault. I'm Karen Neighbors, as the doctors told you, and I've been in nursing many years. I graduated from nursing school from an ADN program in 1980. So I was only 5 at the time, so that means that I had plenty of time, to grow into the profession. And I'm so pleased to see all of you here that you're interested in our college. And again, I reinforce that it's what the doctor was saying, in that it is a college. You are going for college credit, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. And you're going to have to bring some college credit with you. We're also working on an articulation agreement, so as she was saying, so that you can move from our program right into a BSN program. So RGV has got you covered if you'll just do your part. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all about it. Most of the things I'm going to tell you are on this brochure, but and then they're going to be up here on the screen as well. But this is so you can take home and say, what did she say? What did she say on that? How did you say that? Okay, this one just gives you a program description. There are different programs that you can go through, and but the Texas Board of Nursing only approves ADN programs and bachelor's programs for RN in the state of Texas. So therefore, that's why we're called associate degree. So you would be an associate degree nurse, but we are doing it via the LVN to RN track, which will be done in 12 months. So that's a lot of stuff to cram into you, so come with your heads wide open. So you must have a current must be a current, non-encumbered licensed LVN. What does that mean? Non-encumbered. Nothing in your record, that's right. There can't be any stipulations to come on into the program. You've got to have a clear license, one that's ready, set, go, to apply for this particular track. When you finish all of your co-recs, or your pre-recs, and then your classes with us, then you're eligible to graduate with an associate degree in nursing, ADN. That's the degree that you'll get. You will then be blessed to get to go sit your NCLEX for your RN. And y'all all are aware of NCLEX for RN, right? Everybody knows what that word is. Anybody scared of it? Anybody don't like it? This is kind of as I was working on the program, I kept thinking we need a symbol. We need something that will show what we stand for. And I thought of a tree. I tried to work with an owl. I tried different things, and nothing. But I got with Mr. Danny that works here, and he helped me create because I had this thought process of what was in the program, and then we decided how we were going to demonstrate it. And if you look, it's a bridge, and that's what this program is a bridging program. And the stem of it here, the base, the groundwork, is firmly based with Rio Grande Valley College. Now you've got these pillars here, and you may or may not know what they mean, but I'll explain a lot later. Decks, those are the core informations that you need to have to be a good nurse. CUSIN, to be a safe nurse. Then of course NCLEX, we're going to be squeezing that in there too. So if that's holding the bridge up, if that's what our foundation is, just think of the education that you can get. Then as the LDN starts on this end of the bridge, the what would you call those wires that hold it up are part of the CUSIN, and it shows it our values. Ethics with patients, safety with patients, leadership. That's what the RN does. The RN is the leader. And so there's going to be a transition period for a lot of you. And sometimes I've had students in the past that it's been a difficult transition. Some it's been an easy transition for them. Then if you'll look at the column right above, novice to expert, that's Dr. Benner. She's one of the experts in nursing education, and that's what we are doing. We are going from a novice nurse, and we're going to take you to be the expert. You always start novice, don't you? Always. And then the star in the middle is our compass. We're going to guide you in the right direction, and we're going to show you which way and how you do your part, and we'll do our part, we promise. And then of course at the top is the scale, and then our emblem. So I wanted to explain. I wanted to explain the bridge to you, and because I'm so proud of it, and it's so symbolic of what we do. Okay, important dates. This is real important, y'all. Real important. These, and this is on the brochure too, these things, the first thing you have to do is come to one of these sessions. So you've got one of them under your belt. If you don't come to one of these sessions and sign in with those ladies out front, and they got your name and email, then you can't apply to the program. That's a requirement. You have to be here. And these are the dates of, so we're having the last one on 10-4 day. Application for the ADN next Monday. Everybody in this room that chooses to can contact the registration desk And that's when you can make an appointment to come in and fill out an application and bring whatever papers that you might already have to put in your file. And it's a $25 registration fee. I don't think that's on that list. I don't know. Is it on there? Yeah, application fee. But you can't go register, you can't fill out that application until you come to these. So y'all are the first ones that are gonna be eligible come Monday to get to fill out one of these forms. The group that comes to 9/13 can't come till 9/17. You see how it plays out? Now, collection of paperwork, that's our time frame there, 9/10 to 11/20. And we're gonna talk about all the forms and paperwork, your transcripts. Sometimes that takes a little while to get your transcripts in because we're not offering the core courses here, the prereqs. We will in time, but we're not yet. So you'll have to get those at another higher education facility and then have your transcripts sent here. We need official transcripts, not copies, official transcripts. So in between 9/10 and 11/20, you're getting your stuff in. Everybody that's come to these sessions. Then from 9/10 to 11/20, you can schedule your TEAS test. And it's not the same one that you took with your LVN. It is for the ADN program. And our scores, I'll show you that. I think it's on a few slides coming up. We'll talk about that. But you've got to take your TEAS test and score a certain score. Then, after we look at your paperwork and we look at your TEAS grades, then we may call you in for an interview. If we call you in for an interview, we're narrowing down that pool. Because how many did she say we could have? 25. That's not very many, is it? 25. So we're going to be narrowing down, and we want the best of the best. How many of y'all are the best of the best? Of course, of course, of course. And by 12:15, you will have been notified by email and by snail mail that if you have been accepted into the program or not. So does that give you a good timeline there? So you know what you're looking at. Okay. Okay. Again, mandatory session. Then the application, which when can y'all do the application?
Monday.
Beginning Monday. Beginning Monday. Then your T-scores. Now, these are the numbers you have to hit. You don't have to remember this right now. They'll tell you again. But now on the T's, you want a minimum of 60. But the key here is that you have to pass reading, math, science, and English at these values at one sitting. Does that make sense? You can't come in and do really, really well on reading and I'm not paying attention to English. I'll pass it next time. One sitting. What we're looking for is a well-rounded, well-educated, well-thinking person, okay? And it's the ATI entrance test, so y'all are all familiar with ATI. Then you also have to have greater than a 2.0 on all your prereqs. These are your prereqs, and I think those are in your folder for you. Do you have to have all of them before we'll even look at you? The more you have, the better it is. But you do need to have your English, your A&P, and your general psychology at least. This elective here, because this program is only going to, you're going to be with us 3 days a week. That doesn't mean you're not going to be studying the other days. But you're only going to be physically with us 3 days a week. You'll have the opportunity to take the elective through that year. But before you can graduate in December, you will have to have everything passed. Does that make sense? So The more of your prereqs that you have, we do a point system, is however many points you're gonna get. That's how we're gonna, our measuring stick for how we're gonna pick who we're gonna pick. And again, that's on your handout. If you'll notice, there's 24 hours, 24 credit hours, college credit hours. This is not clock hours. This is college credit hours that you have to have. Okay. I told you about an unencumbered LPN license. The majority of all support courses, I got ahead of myself, I'm sorry. But you have to have all of your support courses passed and all of your RN classes passed to be able to receive your degree. So you can start the program with the majority or almost all of, but one or two of your prereqs, and catch that prereq, throughout that year. And as long as you finish it passing by December, you're fine. You'll be fine. Okay, and then we say hallelujah, send them to the board, and we send y'all to in-class. This is kind of what the program's going to look like for you. This looks really, really simplified, but if y'all remember, this is a next level. You're coming. I know that in the vocational program they talk about professionalism. In the business entity, the business world, at the registered nursing level is considered the professional. And so at that level, and then you move on from the ADN. Where you'll have, I'm not going to tell you how many hours, but if you look, there's 12 credit hours in each semester. Starts January 7, and you'll graduate in December. So, from January to the last part of April is level 1. And I think I'm getting ahead of myself again on the slides, I think. But Mondays and Tuesdays will be in this building, class and lecture. Wednesdays will be spent either the first 5 weeks in skills lab, because you've got to prove to us that you do know what you know, and then we're going to go to clinical after that. So your clinical days are going to be on Wednesdays. Oh goodness. Then your clinical days can be might be 8-hour days, could be 10-hour days. It depends on what we need to meet that in that semester. So if you look, professional nursing, that's turning you into an RN. Nursing care concepts, med-surg. That's what that is med-surg. Nursing skills, I told you about, and then clinical. Professional nursing, med-surg. The board suggested when we were going through all this process, why don't you have a physical exam? How to do a head to toe, how to do a good nurse assessment. And that told me that across the state of Texas, apparently the board is seeing that there's difficulty with head to toe assessments. So RGV College is going to offer a nursing comprehensive assessment course, all of its own. It will intensify a head to toe nursing assessment. It's going to go far beyond what you've done. No, you won't go in there and do pap smears and stuff. You're going to go to we're going to go deep. It's going to get pretty deep. Should have said deep. In professional nursing here, med-surg, clinical. Now OB, we're going to try and get it into our OB in level 2. We're going to do our psych rotation in level 3. And it's going to be pretty, again, it's intense. There are a lot of clinical activities, and I created them just for y'all. So y'all are going to get the opportunity to do a lot of clinical activities when you're actually at the sites. Then we go into professional nursing preceptorship. Y'all all know what the preceptorship is. And then we'll talk about it in more detail as we narrow down. But then you add these all up, the total program is a 60 semester credit hour program. If you look on the web and you look at everything, you're going to see that a typical ADN program is 58 to 62 semester credit hours. So we're right down the middle, aren't we? Split right down the middle. So we did good on that. Okay, so that's what your class is going to look like. Let's talk about some money. Oh gosh. Y'all, now listen, this is September. You'll know at what point will you be notified? What holidays in December? Ask for Christmas gift cards. Ask for cash. Be sure and tell them you need a laptop. You know, if they say, what? I just don't know what to get her for Christmas. You can buy my books. So, this is again in your list of things here. This is again with the application piece. There is on this one that's not in your folder is that personal laptop computer added to this PowerPoint. If you can get one for $200, hallelujah. I just said 1,000 because some people just think they're gonna have one. Then the other thing that's not on here, and I don't think it's in your brochure, is that you must have your American Heart Association Healthcare Provider CPR certification.
Question,
Yes.
laptop, what kind of configurations do you need, like Microsoft or?
That's going to be once you get into the program, we'll go over all of that because ATI is compatible with any program. But I know we've noticed glitches when it comes to Macs. So that's the only thing. You can use it, you can utilize it, but once you get it, we'll give you a little bit more information in regards to that. But the Macs are the ones that they've had the most problems with. And it has to be compatible with ATI.
So, I don't know if the coloration, can I look at one of your pamphlets? If it colored, it did. Okay, the things on your pamphlet that are in blue are things that you are gonna ask for Christmas. Okay? That's your Christmas list. Because those are the things that you're gonna purchase outside of this building. Now, of course, the tuition is paid here. You buy your books and syllabi, you'll purchase them here, but that's not part of your tuition. Then the uniforms, one white, one blue, you'll buy here. Your lab coat, you'll buy here. Then from the shoes down is you got to pull out your wallet, and there's no other way to say it. Education's not cheap, but I'm telling you, this is the best field you can ever be in. As you know, as being LPNs. It's a wonderful field to be in. So, tried to make sure I put everything in there. CPR is not in there, but that gives you an idea of what the cost is for the whole year. That's what it's going to cost for the whole year.
That down payment that they've asked for, the down payment,
Yes.
what is that covering? Just part of our tuition and stuff?
Yes.
Is that what that down payment
Yes,
is?
yes.
Okay. And that would be due as soon as they accept it? I'm assuming, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct.
And I think it's on, I'm probably getting ahead of myself again on the slides, but students will be financial aid if you're eligible for it. So and that's a good thing. A lot of the ADN programs don't have that. Yes.
If you already did the LVN program here and you have like the scopes, can we use those or do we have
No.
to get? No.
Because it'll be the ADN emblem. Okay? Classes start January 7th, and I have to tell y'all, that's my birthday. It just happened that way. I like chocolate. So, I'm just throwing that out there. Schedule's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I've already told you about class. It's Monday and Tuesday. That's your lectures. And then, now don't think, this program is designed so that you can still work. You're LVNs. You gotta have some income, right? But now don't think that I'm gonna be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's it. Because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm gonna work my two of y'all. You can't do that because you have to, there's lots. We told you lots of reading in LDN. Oh my goodness. You're gonna have reading. You're gonna have research. You're gonna have writing. There's papers to write. Formal papers to write in this program. So therefore, don't box yourself in is what I'm saying. Yes, you can still work, but don't absorb every day that you have off at work because you're going to need some study time. The statistics say that for every hour spent in class, you should spend 3.5 hours at home studying. How many of you do that? 9. Okay. This is just some little fun facts. You know the mascot. Financial aid's available to those that qualify. We are going to try and work with you with job placement, just like we did with the VN and the CNA program. And follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Tell your friends. Tell your family. What are you going to get for Christmas? There you go. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
That you said you can transfer in. How, I know some places they have to be within a certain amount of years to take it at credit. Is that the same thing here?
We did not put an age limit on that. And the reason we didn't is because we're going to look at your T scores.
Okay.
And then if you're, let's say your anatomy's pretty low and you took it 25 years ago, then you know, we might suggest to you that you know, to prep for the next class. So no, right now there's not an age limit. There will be points given. You have to have worked for 1 year as an LVN, as a licensed vocational nurse. For every year that you worked, you get points of being an LVN. So see, there you go. Yes, ma'am.
To apply, that's a big requirement for a year.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And the reason for that is because the Texas Board of Nursing believes that you need, for you to transition, you need to have worked as an LVN and know what those duties and scope of practice is to be able to understand what the scope of practice is.
Did everybody hear the questions so far? Everybody heard the questions?
For the microbiology, I know it's just about it. There's math, science, and science.
Science.
Science. And how about the human working development recipe and lifespan?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Did everybody hear that question?
Did y'all hear the question in the back?
She asked about microbiology. Does it have to be the clinical or non-clinical? You said the science, the clinical, microbiology. They also asked about lifespan, growth and development. Would the growth and development be the same thing as lifespan? Yes, it will be.
Yes. Just make sure it's a psychology.
Right there, we have a question.
Yes. Yes, sir.
My question was, you said it's financially available. Is there any kind of subsidized or unsubsidized loan?
That part I don't know.
Yes, financial aid, so we will kind of go through the same process that we did when we did the VN program. You make, go through all the steps that you have. As soon as you're accepted, you will then, apply, you fill out your FAFSA, And then based on that, we will look into your financial aid, see where you're at as far as your SULA and your, SULA, and there's another one that we have to look at, and if your percentages are good, there may be, chances that you can qualify for, federal programs, depending on your income, but definitely loans, subsidized and unsubsidized. Because this will be considered a second year, the monies available to you for your sub and unsub is increased. And then also as a reminder, because we already, we're moving forward with the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, that also opens doors for state grants, in addition to your federal grants. But as that comes along, as that becomes available, we will be notifying you and we'll be letting you know about the requirements for that and all that good stuff. But there's also that opportunity where you can also get funding from other sources like the Workforce Solutions and any other local funding. Okay?
You had a question, sir?
Yeah, real quick. So let's just say we're looking at the program by 2015. Won't be the next time to apply for this program? Would it be like after the program finished graduating, or?
Yes, we can only take one cohort this first year, or the first 2 years, according to the board rules. And we have to prove ourselves, as the doctor said earlier, and show that we're sending out educated professional nurses out into the field. If our pass rate stays good, then we're going to start increasing the admission number. But as of right now, the plan is 1 per year. But who knows? We may, she said we've got acres back there.
For those of you that don't have maybe all your prereqs, right? We did turn them in as part of the proposal. Those will start being offered here at Rgv College hopefully this summer. So what you can do is maybe if you're looking into continuing your education, you haven't done some of the prereqs, those will be available in our campus hopefully by the summer. That's going to be our next initiative. So that way you can start building towards becoming the next cohort. I want to look into that because when we did the VN, they didn't make us wait 2 years. You could do your first cohort and then based on your completion and results, you could start another cohort. They gave you permission to start another one. You didn't have to wait the 2 years. So I don't know, maybe the ADN is a little different.
I'm only going on with the proposal.
Okay, so we'll find all that out for you guys. But for those of you that are looking, because eventually, if this first cohort proves itself just the way cohort 1 did, then from there they say, of course, bring in another cohort, and then your numbers continue to grow. But just for those of you that maybe haven't started your prereqs or need to be doing that, we will be having those available in the summer.
I think it's important, just to add, in addition to that, because that was a great question, on the social media, we always update, so information will always be posted on there. So let's say, for example, there is a change and they do allow us a different number to start one sooner, it will be on social media, just like we advertise for these sessions. We'll do the same thing. That's why we ask you guys to be a part of our social media. That's the way you found out about this particular session. Yes, sir.
Are y'all planning, if it works and everything's good, are y'all planning to have it in the evening, the program? Or
Right now, we're just dealing with it day by day, guys. Right now, we're just days. The VN's done really well in the evening, guys, so we only intended to do 3 cohorts in that, but the passing rate was really high. So right now with the ADN, we just want to make sure we do things right, so I can't.
That's not to say that won't happen, but that's not in our immediate plan right now.
You have a question?
Yes, on Monday from what time to what time, and we will bring in our documents.
As far as for admissions, like for your application starting this coming Monday, do we have
Whether here, the admissions is here from 8:30 to 5:30, so they're here all day. We'll probably have 1 assigned rep for that. Right now, I'm looking at Alice, if we haven't dealt with her, she'll probably be the ADN rep dealing with this.
And on that day, when you come, we're just gonna register and pay the $25, and then we'll see from there where we'll go, or any paperwork that we have to bring with us.
The more paperwork that you can bring, the better. So
Right.
we're gonna start developing your file.
Oh,
But that day that you fill out your application, yes, they will tell you what all you need to bring in.
Okay.
And you will have time
Okay.
between that.
Yes.
When you make the application, when you schedule to, make your appointment to come in for Monday, for your application, make sure that you bring your original social, driver's license, and your social security card. Original, it needs to be original documents, those two documents.
So if you're gonna request a social security card, don't bring us a paper that says I requested it. We need the original documents. We've had that as before anybody asks, or maybe you don't ask, we've had students bring the paper that they've requested it, we need the social security card.
For the transcripts, you need them sealed as long as we get them from the actual.
Yes, to be legal, and I'd like to keep us as legal and official as possible, they should be sealed.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we request the transcripts to be sent here?
Yes.
Instead of-
Yes. And that's typically what you do, is have official transcripts sent directly to the registrar at the school you want to attend.
Stacy?
Yes, Ms. Williams, on the letter of recommendation, like, from, what, like, a job or?
Yes, from a job, and it needs to be on a letterhead. Don't just, because I don't know if you had your husband sit down and type that. It needs to be on an official letterhead from a business, okay? I'm sure your husband would say nice things about it.
Do you also need transcripts from our LVN?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Do you need transcripts from our LVN schooling as well?
No, the proof, your transcripts are fine, we can put them in there, but the proof is your license. And yes, your transcripts will probably be on those that you're gonna be requesting, and if you went to school here, we have them already. And it's gonna help us as teachers to be better teachers if we looked at all that, to know where you are. Where do I need to help her? Where does she need guidance at? She was low in mental health, so maybe we need to, that's where she's really gonna struggle.
So what we will need is our most current or the most recent education, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did y'all hear that question?
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you're working, like right now that I'm currently working, but I'm not practicing English.
How long have you had your license?
Going on 20 years.
You come
As long as it's active.
Yes.
As long as it's
here.
active.
As long as, yeah, it's active. But you still have to have that letter that of reference from a facility, not from, Joe's Crab Shack. You want it from a healthcare facility.
Yes, guys, that's a very good point. As far as your letter of recommendation, if you're currently employed, it should come from maybe a current employer.
Yes.
Because hopefully you've been doing a great job there and they're willing to write that letter for you. But it shouldn't be from a previous employer, like she was saying, maybe you worked at a restaurant, maybe it should be from your licensure right now. There was another thing that we wanted to make sure we clarified. As you went through an LVN program, whether it was any of the institutions here in the local area or even ours, keep in mind that your A&P for vocational nursing, A&P 1 and 2 that were within the program are not semester credits. So those are not transferable. You have to take semester long A&P 1 and A&P 2. So I just wanted to make sure.
You hurt some people's
Sorry.
feelings.
I just wanted to make sure, because some of you guys had that question, and then some of you guys hadn't asked it, so we wanted to make sure we clarified that.
That is a very excellent point, yeah. It has to be a for credit course, not a certificate course.
Right, yes.
Ms. Williams, for the TS test, any guide or book that we can use, it will be the same that we use at the LVN program?
It's actually, the TEAS test is a TEAS test in general. Remember, it tests you on your academics. So if you looked at the points that it covered, it's an overall score, but you've got your reading, math, science, and your English. So all of those are key in regards to your averages. Those are gonna be your main components, and of course, the TEAS test is overall general. There's no PN, there's no LVN, but they will increase as you go through programs. When you go through an LVN program, ADM program, BSN, you'll see the scores increase from 54 to 60 to 70. So just keep that in mind. Okay?
So we need to take it again.
Yes, review, especially those of you who say,
And
I don't.
it's checking your basic knowledge.
Yes.
If you took it, you kinda know what you scored before, so you kinda know
Yes.
like where you're at.
And
Whether or not you meet
isn't
that
there
guideline.
a gap that has to be weighted?
Yes, I think that's why we're doing the one city.
Yes.
You know, as we get further into programs, guys, there will be gaps as far as when you can retake it. So on this test that we're getting, as far as you taking the first one, you have to score all components throughout, maintain that score. You won't be able to take it again until 3 to 4 weeks.
So that will throw you out.
That'll throw you out of being able to
the time
retest
frame.
again. So that's why it's important to prepare.
Yes, sir.
So those who have taken the HESI exam, if you consider those scores?
That's what I'm familiar with.
It's a whole different instrument.
It's a different, it's still, it's a different company, but it's still a guide. And it still, has the same, thought process, but their scales are a little bit different. But it still measures your knowledge, and it will increasingly get harder and harder as the program goes through. At the end of this program, there will be an exit ATI, just like there's an exit HESI.
So the HESI score is not factors?
No.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir. We're not considering HESI. Different company.
The cheese is the ACI?
Yes.
Is there any like, elliptical materials?
Okay, that's what she was asking about materials.
There's tease books,
Yeah.
you can find stuff online, yes, to review. You can also go to the ATI website, and you can purchase a book off of there. I'm not sure we're gonna have any.
We have them available for sale, the study guides. I believe the price is $65. I'm not sure, but when you come to the application on Monday, they can inform you there. Also, on the method of payment, what is the method of payment that RGV College uses? Credit cards. We do no cash. So when you, make a payment for any of the, cash or, check, we no cash, okay? Credit card or cash or money order from
Credit card or check, no cash.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, guys.
And I want to make sure you understand, you don't all have to flood in here Monday. It's beginning Monday. If you can't come till Wednesday, that's fine to fill out your application. So don't think you've got to be here 0800 Monday morning in front of the registrar's office to fill out your application. Yes, ma'am.
When you all have selected all 25,
Yes, ma'am. There will be alternates that will, they'll be notified.
First,
They'll be
second, third.
notified, yeah, they'll be notified just along with the same. Yes, ma'am.
For the letter of recommendation,
Right now, you won't get your grades until after November 20th, when all the transcripts are due. Will you still consider them, or would you have to wait till the following month?
Are you saying you're in class right
I'm
now?
taking microbiology right now, and I
Uh-huh.
won't finish until December with the course.
Mhm.
And we have to turn in our transcripts by November 20th. Would I have to wait for the following program?
Turn in, your transcript should show, if you've taken all your classes at one school, should show what you're currently taking, but it just won't have a grade. And if it's micro that you're missing, then that's a consideration of one of those that you could take during the year. You see what I'm saying? So, turn it in, or at least let us know, I'm currently enrolled in.
And it should show on your transcript. You
Yeah,
just won't have it.
Right. Yes, sir.
As far as the prerequisite, the next thing grade we gotta get, and get up, or something we have it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
The prerequisite, is there a certain grade? I think the higher the grade, the higher the point.
Yes, again, we're doing the point system as how we're selecting and narrowing down. We will not accept anything less than a 2.0. And so that means a C. If you've made it less than a C, and plus anything less than a C is not transferable collegiately anyway.
Alright.
So the higher your grade A, You're getting, the more points you get.
Right.
And that point system will be in the application to see what the points we can like calculate on our own, what you guys will be given for.
Well, actually, everything's weighed, so we have someone that's developed something that we're putting it, it's calculating, because some of it might be weighed an eighth way more than the other. So to kind of put it in a paper form, I don't know, maybe we can print it for you when it's completed.
Okay.
But like today, we decided something way less, than you were in there yesterday.
Yes, we were, as far as the, electives.
Elective, like let's say when you've got all your prereqs, the elective's gonna weigh less than maybe your micro would. You see what I'm saying? Because it's an elective. So if you made an A, it's not gonna weigh as much as your A in a core subject.
Any other questions, guys? Yes.
For the RN program courses, is there a certain grade that we need to have to be considered passing, or is it?
To be considered what?
7 years, we need
75. Anything below, 74.9?
And there's no rounding, right?
There is after 75.
Right.
But if it's 74.9, I'm so sorry, but I can't round you up to pass. I can round you up from a C to a B.
Our first cohort better not be there. Y'all are gonna be sharp.
Yes.
Remember, a lot's on your shoulders too. We're counting on you to make it happen for future ADN and a flood more of you that need to come in. You can see what we have here, so no pressure, but whoever's in there, and we're gonna be on you to make sure that you perform, because it's a lot. We've worked on this program for over 4 years. We're selecting these 25, we're giving you all that we can give you to make sure you're successful so that we can open it up for other students. So, it's gonna be a lot that we are gonna ask from you as far as academics. So if you're making barely a 74, that means that we're not getting what we need to get to make sure we prepare you.
And that's what Ms. Karen mentioned about your working schedule, that's where that comes into place. If you're gonna be working, you're gonna be coming to school, so you need to weigh that out.
I think Ms. Mary had a good point.
I was gonna share with you guys, those of you who have been with us and know how we work, you know that we will be on you. This is what makes us very different in our institution. We're not here, we're here, you saw our sign, anybody who's been in here, it says, we're not successful until you're successful. So if you are at a 75, 72, we're gonna be meeting with you, we're gonna be bringing you in, what's going on, what's your plan of action, what's your remediation? Because just like you're here, you're putting a lot of time, you're investing time, money, and time away from family, because this is what you want. So this is what has made us successful. Being here 10 years, having the top pass rate for our vocational nursing students, that says a lot about our students. They're very well prepared, and we're gonna be here with you, we're gonna help you. ATI, we're gonna try to guide you, because again, 50% of that, 75% of that is gonna go back to you guys as the students. So just wanted to make sure that I put that out there. Those of you who have been here, you know how strict we are, how we'll bring you in, we'll talk to you. We want to make sure that you are successful the first time around. You guys are leaving the door of opportunity open for others, and this is how we pay it forward. Always keep that in mind. In anywhere you go, be successful and share that with others, and that's what has made us successful, because that's what we do here.
And
We are
I
a
think just
family.
piggyback on that, just from our first cohort to where we're at, our systems are totally different, guys. Oh, boy, we learned. Those were our babies, the first classes, we were learning. That's gonna be with the ADN. We're not gonna be perfect, guys, but we're gonna be intervening to make sure that we make it perfect as we continue. We're still changing things. Every time a new cohort, what worked here, we're in cohort 30-something, guys. So from the first, what we expected from cohort 1 is totally a whole different student of what we expect now because of what we've learned and how we've intervened. So within that, that's gonna be where our first cohort 2. We're gonna be learning with you while we're going, but at the same time, we've got some standards that we've already put in place to be successful.
And believe you, I want you to believe us as well that the board, I've worked for the Texas Board of Nursing, so I know they would not even look at us twice if we weren't worthy or we didn't have a good product. So We worked really hard.
Mikey, this is
Really
tougher than my
hard.
dissertation, guys, I'm telling you, I'm so they're asking for honorary doctorates, the ones that worked, and I'd give it to them if I could, because we have research, I told them, I said, this is harder than my doctorate, I have never done how much this really took, and you should see our documents turned in. So I'm really proud of everyone who worked on it, all the ones that are in this room, because it's been a lot of work.
It's been a journey.
And Joe would be excited.
Yes.
He would be excited because it's finally done. I fulfilled my promise once I raised my hand before. After that, guys, y'all gotta make it happen. But it's something that it's just beautiful. Like Mary said, just for those of you that were with us from the other building just coming here, we've been blessed as an institution. We've been blessed with a wonderful team. We've gotten better. I'm looking forward to, because this is new. I love dealing with new stuff because it challenges. Oh, we did this right, we did this wrong, what can we do? And the ADN is first our associates program, and I'm looking forward to a lot more associates programs added to this one. This is going to be our baby. It's going to be our first one. So will be that new first cohort. So hopefully, if you're part of that, you come in with an open mind. I'm going to work at it. I'm going to work with them. We're all learning. We're going to make it happen here in the Valley and prove that we have some awesome nurses and awesome students, and they're going to go and pass in.
And if again, like she said, and I'll tag along, if this goes well, there's also a paramedic 2RN program that we can combine with this in the future. So you have some paramedic friends that want to get their RN.
What about
That's a
for
potential.
respiratory, the RTs that want to transition to RN?
We don't have that type of program, no. And I'm not aware that the board even approved something like that. I know they've looked at, now some of your core courses might count towards that degree, but as far as your respiratory certificate or degree, it might give you more points to get into this program because you have a higher education degree. Yes, ma'am.
How many chances does the school give a student if the student fails during the semester? Can they come back again to register and?
Okay, since this first year, it'll only be that for one group. So there won't be another class for you to come into. You'll have to wait a whole year. And then, and there'll be a readmission process. But you would have to wait a full year for the first year. And then hopefully we'll have more, we can stagger those cohorts as the board will allow us.
Hey guys, is that pretty much, we do need to wrap it up. I think there were some good questions. Thank you, Ms. Karen, thank you, Ms. Mary, for that report. So, we're next. Thank you.